everybody! It's Joe. My name's Joe, and this is Joe's Computer Museum. It's a crazy day and a crazy place around here, but we're going to have some fun tonight. Stand by while I mute my Discord tab, because it's beeping in the background. You don't need to hear that. It stopped beeping. So, thanks everybody for stopping by. I know that big old Bruce Rain from Breakus Creations is streaming tonight. And I didn't realize that until after I had clicked the schedule button on my stream and realized who was streaming. So there's not going to be anybody here because you're all watching Bruce fix Macs. But we're gonna play with some Tandy TRS-80 Model 4 Ps tonight. Specifically, this one right here, which you can't see yet. So, while I have all of your attention, again, thank you for stopping by. If you like this stream or you like my content, hit the like button, because that tells YouTube to play my videos to people who watch other kinds of videos that you watch. And it spreads it around, and that helps out. If you're a patron, thank you. If you're not, and want to support the stream and support my channel, you can go to patreon.com/Joe's Computer Museum. Drop $1 in the cup. Help me with the monthly upkeep of the pile that's back here. This wonderful pile back here. What else is going on? Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Why don't you subscribe? Do the subscribey. Do the thing. Things to update you on before we get started. Just so you know a little bit what's going on in my world. I believe I now have all of the parts, with the exception of maybe the logic board. I have all the parts that are required to build another one of these things, except instead of being orange, it'll be blue, and we're calling it the Pumpkin Tosh. Or not the Pumpkin Tosh, that's this one, the Blueberry Tosh. Basically, it'll have a blue clear case. It'll have a white CRT here, like a standard, but I have this blue window film that I'm going to put over it to make the screen blue, and it'll be blue. So thank you to Javier Rivera for sending me the CRT. Thank you to a gentleman who will not be named at this point, because I don't remember which of you it was. Not that I don't appreciate it, I just don't remember. Bob. It was Bob. Bob sent it to me. Yes, hi Bob. I believe Bob might actually be in the chat. Hi Bob. For sending me the metal frame that goes in here, because I've got everything but the metal frame. Eric Helgeson of Blue Scuzzy fame sent me the analog board. Bob also sent me the power supply. Not to say that Eric Helgeson didn't send me a power supply, but he did too. But that power supply wants to blow up my circuit breakers when I plug it in, so I don't want to, and then the analog board, or the logic board, was sent to me, I believe, by Javier as a battery bombed parts board, but it has enough functioning parts. Not this Bob, so it was another Bob. Thank you. This Bob was texting me. Let me stand by. Was that Bob? I want to get the name right. David. It was a David, not a Bob. Jiminy Christmas. It was David. Jiminy Christmas. This is GS Stereo Bob. Yes, we need to talk about you too, GS Stereo Bob. It was David that sent me the frame. See, I'm bad. I'm awful with names. I'm awful. Horrible. Anyway, thank you to Javier, who sent me the logic board. Thank you to Mac Effects, who many, nearly 2 years ago now, sent me the Kai Robertson SE Reloaded board that I'm populating with Javier's parts. So basically, everybody has contributed to this Blueberry Tosh. And when I'm done, it might be a giveaway. We'll see. The question will be, do people want the Pumpkin Tosh as their giveaway, or do we want the Blueberry Tosh? I have plans for the Pumpkin Tosh, so we'll see. Thank you to Rudy's Retro Intel for $20 Canadian. That's like 50 cents. That's a joke. It's about $20 US. Thank you very much, Rudy, my 8-bit partner in crime over at Retro Repair Roundup, which we're having our next episode this Sunday, so stop by. Yeah, lots of little things going on. So somebody in the chat, Bob Darlington, designed this little thing, which is a stereo audio output for the Apple IIgs, and he sent me one to test, and it works great. With the exception of one tiny little glitch, and we believe that glitch has something to do with the actual Apple IIgs itself sending noise out. So yeah, it's actually $20 US. Well, it says Canadian 20 there, Rudy. So I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing. So Bob and I are kind of working in the background to see if we can get that card up and running so people can have an inexpensive stereo sound for their computer, for their Apple IIgs. That'll be cool. Here's a purple bag that I can't show you the front of because it has my address on it and the address of the person who sent it to me. But this was sent to me by the wonderful Ron McAdams of Ron's computer videos, because we're going to be doing a big group assemblage of whatever is in that bag. But it involves memory and Macintoshes. I'll just put it that way. So that'll be coming soon as well. And a cool other thing somebody sent me today. This is the coolest thing ever. A wonderful fan had this shirt custom made and sent to me today. Look at that. Custom-made Apple II enthusiast shirt. So Joel over on the Apple II enthusiast group on Facebook put that together for me and sent it out to me. That's awesome. He says, Joe, at my request, my wife made this limited edition shirt just for you. Thank you for all that you do for us, Apple II enthusiast Joe Mick. Thank you, Joel. You are the bomb. So, hold on. I have avalanche of parts. There, fix the avalanche. So that is what is going on in, I will mail you the difference. Thank you, Rudy. That is what's going on in the background. So let's get to the foreground. Let's talk about this machine over here. Let's go ahead and click a button and do that thing and show you this computer. So what is this stupid little thing here? This little beige chunk. Well, this is a TRS-80 Model 4P. The 4P is a nifty little machine because it's a TRS-80 Model 4 that's portable, therefore the P. But the TRS-80 Model 4s can also be booted into Model 3 mode and run Model 3 software as well. So it was kind of like a cross-compatible TRS-80 whoop-de-doo. I got this from a local company, relatively local. It's about 15 minutes away from me. A local electronics manufacturer, actually, one of my coolest clients. Tangent about this client. So, like, basically, we manage at my day job, we manage their IT for them, but they build circuit boards. They build circuit boards like this one that Ron so graciously gave me that I still have to install in something. They manufacture these things. They've been doing it for 40 years. And they have, like, racks of books on old Intel and Z80s and 6502s and stuff. They have, like, original bound copies of data sheets. It's like, and they have an entire cubicle that has ancient chips from the 80s in it because they've been operating longer than I've been alive. Like, in there they have, I've talked about this on my Twitter channel. In there they have 3 AY5 3600 chips, which are the keyboard encoder chip for the Apple II, and they just have them just laying around. Like, what the heck? How does that happen? It's the coolest thing since sliced bread. So I know where to go to get like really rare parts if I like need to hunt for rare parts. Anyway, so they're local. I love to hang out there. I love to do work for them because I get to watch them like make electronics. But one Saturday I was doing a network upgrade for him. And my contact there is like, hey, you want to see something cool? So he takes me back to the back and shows me 3 of these just stacked underneath a shelving unit in the back. And I'm like, wow, those are cool. What do you guys do with them? And they're just sitting there. He's like, nothing. They just take up space. To which my answer was, you need to talk to whoever you need to talk to because I can solve this space problem for you right now. He talked to the owner. Next weekend, I'm out there doing some more stuff. And I ended up acquiring these. Now, I said there were 3. I said there were 5 at the beginning, and I only saw 3. So I go out there to pick up these 3. And as we're getting under the shelving unit to pick these out, I look to my left, and there's 2 more down a little bit farther. So there's 5 of them. I'm like, sell me the other 2? And they're like, yep. So I bought each of these guys for $75. Now, you might think that's a little bit expensive, but the going price for these on the eBays in unknown condition is $150. So I basically got them for 50% off. Can't really complain on that. I've gone through all of them except this one. I've inventoried them so I can figure out the type of board they are and the type of RAM they have and the condition of things. But I will left this one for last because this guy we are going to take apart, and I'm going to show you the process for taking one apart. It's like trying to stab yourself in the face with a spoon. It's awful. And then we're going to see if we can diagnose the problem with it. This machine gets random screen garbage. It resets itself randomly, stuff like that. I have a couple ideas of what it might be, one of which is easily fixable tonight, and the other one isn't. And we'll either see what it is, we'll either get it fixed tonight, or I'll show you the laborious, painstaking, and I mean that literally, painstaking process of taking one of these apart. So let's boot it up, and I'll just show you what it does, if it'll do it. So these things, the power switch is right on the front. It's kind of convenient, but it always confuses me because every time I go to turn it off, I reach back here to turn it off, but the power switch is up here. It's right here. So let's see if we can get it to do it. Will it do the thing? Let's find out. Sorry, I just saw some text messages over here. And of course, it's not doing it. Right now, it's just trying to boot. It's just like floppy drive not ready. And I bet you if I give it this floppy, which I prepared earlier to diagnose the other machines, I bet you if I give it that, it'll just work. This time. Loading ROM image, and it's just working. So what this thing does is it'll randomly reboot, or it'll show garbage on the screen. It'll just wig out for no reason. Who knows why? I have an idea, but we'll see if my idea is correct. Put your idea in the comments. What do you think is causing this issue? There, boots up just fine. This time. So, we're going to take it apart, because why not? Because you get to see how much of a pain in the butt it is to work on this. So to do this, I have to move this way back, because I have to get all up in the stees here. So I don't have my address on any boxes, do I? No, I don't. This does have my address on it, so I'm going to move it over here for security purposes. I don't need people dive bombing my home. Okay, so there we go. So let's get this thing apart. First off, the best way to do this is to put it on its front. Unplug it. And then we've got 4 screws. We've got 2 here and 2 on the other side. So these come out first. And I need a bin to put screws and stuff in. We will use this bin here. And then we got 2 over here. So this, to liberate the logic board in this, by the way, takes no fewer than 30 screws. You have to remove 30, I kid you not, 30 screws to get to the logic board of this. So you're going to live the pain with me, or you're going to click off the channel, one way or the other. Stars Manny says, power supplies issue? Good guess, Stars. Very good guess. And that is my guess, too. But it could also just be bad RAM doing wacky things. So we'll see. And then you got to unscrew the handle. Then the lid comes off. Lid's off. Good. Oh, and we're nowhere near done yet. Cool. So now what do we got to do? Well, it depends on what we want to get at. I want to get at the logic board because I want to show it to you. So now we have to remove all of the screws that have ever existed. Oh, we got one missing. Thank you. Somebody's been in this before. with all of those screws, now we can remove the floppy drives. That's it. That was just for the floppy drives. Actually, there's another couple under here. Now we can remove the floppy drives. Careful with the charged CRTs. Yes, I am aware of charged CRTs. I've got... Get it out of here. I've got a whiz-bang decharge-a-doodle here if we need to use it. So, let's get the floppy drives out of here. And I label these when I take them out because these are cable addressed floppy drives. So I need to remember which one is drive 1 and which one's drive 0. And these are dusty sons of guns. 0. There's the floppy drives, which we will deal with those at some point if necessary. We know that at least drive 0 is working. Oh my gosh, Rudy's Retro Intel, $10 Canadian. Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much, Rudy. You just sold a Panasonic senior partner. Definitely recommend having that on your list. Though I think my favorite is this Tandy. Yes, the 4P is a funky machine. So, what's next? More screws. So, we want to get to this logic board, which is in a tray underneath here. It's this entire bottom tray has to come out. But there are like layers. It's like peeling an onion. There are layers and layers and layers. So now we have to get the back panel off. But to get the back panel, you can't see that. You have to get this metal back panel off. To get this metal back panel off, I have to remove this supporting brace here, which adds stiffness for the handle in the back. So that's got to come out back. So there's 4 screws for that. 2 there. And 2 here. So that comes out. Now, we have to take out all of these screws because this metal plate, which is just a metal plate, which only really had to be here, like screws into the bottom tray. So this thing's got to come off. So that's off. Guts. Yeah. Mike, lick the anode cap. Give us some excitement. Thank you, Mike. Woot! No. You can't give me enough money to lick the anode cap. No, thank you. Even if it was just charged, do you see? You can't really see the dust, but like, no, I'm not going anywhere near that. At least it's not cigarette dust, because these were used in an electronics factory and they've always been no smoking. Where's my sense of adventure? I lost that many times ago. I'm looking at the scars. I got one there on my wrist and I got one here on my forehead. Yeah, I lost my sense of adventure many scars ago. So anyway, that back panel is off. Now we have to liberate the screws on the far side. Go over there. We have to liberate the screws on the far side, which are these here. And there are 4 of them here. So these keeping count with me at home at the number of screws. I'm sure there's a bleed resistor in there. Oh, there usually is, Gregory. Almost always. But not always. So, yeah. I mean, I'll drive my car fast. I'll eat spicy food sometimes, you know. I'll do things like that. But, yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not going to electrocute myself for funsies. That's not my thing. That is not my jam. So let's get this open. So now, how do you get into this? Like this. The thing rotates down like that. And now we have access to the logic board. And this thing is a right mess. So I do need to document this because I'm documenting all 5 of these because I'm selling these. Greg's fine. Okay, Greg. I'm selling these at cost plus shipping to some of my patrons, just so that we can get these back out into the community. And I only need 1. I don't need all 5. So that's what's happening with those. So I'm documenting what all their issues are so that people know. So let's go ahead and take a look at this board super close, and we'll talk about what we're documenting on it. Sorry for the puke cam. There we are. So we'll start with that. Now, what do we got? So this is the Model A board, or not the model, the 4P board. There are multiple revisions of this board. This is the 870 8709 427 board. You can't quite see it, but it says it right up there, which means it's a non-gate array board. So I can put no in my list. It does have board mods. So it does have some wires here. So it's been slightly upgraded to a smarter ROM or something. I haven't really figured out what that means yet. I have to ask the smarter people on the Tandy boards about what that means. But this does have board mods. So this is the 8709 427 board. But what revision is the board? And you have to remove the keyboard connector to find out. This board is a PP3, revision PP3. Which means that I found 1 reference on the internet to that ever at all on the entirety of the internet. 1 reference. I believe it's on the Vintage Computer Federation forums, and it's one person saying they think it means it's a pre-production board, which that would make sense because then that's why we've got bodge wires here, we've got capacitors and diodes just bridged across stuff. This board is a mess. Here, let's get you closer. Let's enhance. So we've got, like, this is the main ROM, and it's got these tack points and things grounded. We've got just bodge wires all over the place in here, right? We've got, if we come up to this area, if I can get you over there, we've got a resistor capacitor net thing there for, like, timing adjustments. And then in here, there's like a diode or something tacked to a resistor to the corner of this pin. Like just little stuff. Like they were just adjusting things. Now the machine does have a full complement of RAM. So this machine does have 128K of RAM in it. The keyboard, I'm going to mark the keyboard as working. The floppy drive 0 works. Okay. Cool. The CRT in this works, but I'm going to say it needs service jitter. Cool. Now that's pretty much all for my documentation. Yum. Delicious, delicious. Sody pop. So that's this. So looking through this machine and thinking about that weird rebooty problem that was happening. Now the machine is just randomly resetting. You didn't see it on screen, but the first time I turned it on, it booted straight to screen garbage. Just absolute garbage on the screen. Just random characters and stuff. And earlier today, I was playing around with it, and it was turning on. When it reboots, you can hear the little built-in beeper click, and it was doing little clicks. So it was resetting itself. Now, there's only really 2 major things that can cause both of those symptoms that I'm aware of in a machine of this kind of design. One, that's a bad power supply, which is what I think it is. Or 2, RAM. The RAM is easy to test. We can just take out all these chips, and I have a little RAM tester, and we can run them through the RAM tester and see if any of them are bad. If they are bad, we just replace them and we've solved the problem. If they all test good, then we pretty much know it's a power supply. And then that means that I will leave it up to whoever wants to buy this to get a replacement power supply for it. So that's basically how we're going to do it. So let's get all of the RAM out of here. Let's get the RAM out of the machine. Cool. Now, we have to kind of do this with it like kind of chassis together, because disconnecting the cable connections here that go to the frame is pain in the butt. I need some foam, Gib foam, to put the chips in. And then I need my chip lifter. Yep. And then I need my anti-static strap to protect the chips in case they are still good. And now we just yank chips. They're probably just fine, but you never know because none of them are MT. Rudy asks, Falcor, I just saw that pop up. Falcor sent a $5 super sticker. Falcor, thanks. Woot. Appreciate that. Rudy asked a question. Does this computer run DOS, CPM, etc.? So this computer runs multiple different variants of TRS-80 specific DOSes. One called LS-DOS or LDOS, as a lot of people call it. It also runs TRS-80 or TRS DOS. You can also get it to boot into CPM if you have the right CPM for it, which those are all options. So yeah. So let's get these chips out. Okay. $16 of these. These are 74LS, not 74LS. These are 4164 RAM chips, of which I have a fairly plentiful stock of because I fix enough of these old computers to keep those around. Yes, sirree. And I'll show you my little chip tester I use for this. Simple little Arduino-based chip tester that does the job fairly well. It's not exhaustive, but it can pretty quickly identify chips that are marginal or bad. If they're like very barely marginal, sometimes it can't detect them. Now, I probably don't need to test this upper bank of RAM, but because I don't believe it's really used by the system in its base boot modes. But we're going to do it anyway. Why not? It'll be fun. Oh, wow. You guys can't see it, but I can. We already found a fault. I don't know if it actually means anything. We will look at the data sheet and find out. This chip had a bent pin. It wasn't all the way in. That chip that had a bent out pin. Look at that. Oh my gosh, super sticker. Another one. Justin Morgan, $4.99 super sticker. Woot! Thank you, Justin. That dust doesn't look too bad. At least it's not making me sneeze. Yeah. I cleaned the first unit I took apart. I actually cleaned out with the my air compressor down here. Bad idea. And now I have one of these in the shop because dust. Joe's Computer Museum. If you need a good home for one, let me know. I will. I have, to be honest, Rudy, I believe they are all promised out at this point to folks who wanted to purchase them. But if anybody ends up bowing out, then you will definitely be on the list. If you hang out for a second, I'll go grab that list and put your name on it. So there's homes for four. So yeah, 4 of them. I have 4 to give away because I'm going to keep one for my collection. Yep. Let me go grab my list. I have it over here with the machines. Doobie doobie doo. Doobie doobie doobie. Where is the list? And we'll put Rudy's name on the list. Yes, Rudy Panagos. You're on the list, Rudy. After seeing this computer, I no longer want one. Okay, Adam. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, you've got to have a specific soft spot for them. So now we're going to go to Adam is here. I'd rather have a Coco. Yes, I have a Coco 2 and a Coco 3. I want a Coco 1 to complete the collection. Oh my gosh, Tim Cross super sticker. Everybody's throwing me super stickers. $5 super sticker. Woot! Hey, is that Butters? Is that super sticker? Is that Butters? Thank you, Tim Cross. Awesome. So let's where were we? Things, stuff and things. Things and stuff. 27 watching. Wow, that's crazy. Nice busy Friday night. So yes, we were testing chips. So I have to get my little test chipper doodle. That's this thing right here. There it is. So we can get you all zoomed down, all the way down on it. There it is. It isn't just a little Arduino-based thing that tests chips. I don't remember where the code is. It's just an open source thing that I threw together the hardware to do myself. I need to give it power, which means I need my USB power doodle. It's the easiest way to do it. There we are. Cool. So red means bad, green means good. It is on 4164 mode. Yep. Cool. Do that and reset it. And it'll blink while it runs, and when it's done, it'll either be red or green. Adam, I was going to stream, but everybody else is online. Yeah, like samesies. So yeah, I just decided to randomly stream, went ahead and put my whole stream together, clicked go, and then realized Bruce was streaming. So it's like the fact that I actually have 27 people here right now is quite surprising. Rudy, yes. Hit that like button or a spider will come and bite y'all. Yeah, smash that like button if you're liking the stream already. All 34 minutes of me yanking a computer apart. So this thing is still green at that point. I'm going to rearrange this slightly, make it a little easier for me to do my job. There we go. So that's still fine. So we're going to go to the next one. These RAMs are probably all perfectly fine. The other 27 are watching Bruce or Gregory. I'm on both. Yay! So if we want to do a no promises thing, we can do a no promises thing and say that, hey, if you want one of these things, one of these computers, let me know in the chat. I already have all 4 of them kind of promised out, but if anybody backs out, I can put your name on the list. So, yeah. Oh, no, Frederica, you bought 4 Model 3s. All of them were broken due to shipping. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Went to the e-waste. I'm so sorry, man. That sucks. Yeah, I was lucky in this case. They just happened to be local. I was able to just put them in the back of my Civic hatchback and just drove them home. It's like a 15-minute drive. So I believe that this one is good. So we will switch to the next chip. While we're doing that, I'm going to look up the chip the pinout of the 4164 to see if that pin that has been up on this one chip is meaningful of anything. Let's see here. 4164 pinout. That is the 12-volt line, VB, well, no, well, kind of. So some of them show it as having a voltage, and some of them don't. Yeah, some of them are showing it as a negative 5-volt rail. And some of them are showing it as nothing. Yeah, pin 1 usage it's completely random across all of it. 4164 doesn't use 12 volts. It shouldn't. Some of pin 1, so the pin 1 on some of them is a reference, and on many of them that is a non-connect pin, actually. So the fact that this one has it bent up and it kind of sort of, the machine kind of sort of works means that it really doesn't matter. I don't think that it matters. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, the 4116 is the one that's got the funky voltages. Got it. Yes. Understood. So green solid light, that's good. We can move to the next chip. While I'm at it, I can just be putting these chips back in the board. Why not? Why not? The act of removing and reseating these chips, if it was like a bad socket connection, could also fix the problem. Who knows? I really don't think it's RAM, but we're going to test it anyway. We're going to test it anyway. That one already passed one iteration, so I believe that that chip is fine. So we'll get this one started. Now, when you see this little red light blink here, that means it passed an iteration. It runs, I believe it runs like 5 tests or something, 5 whole loops before it the green light goes solid. One iteration of these takes about 20 seconds. All right, I'm going to call that one good. Oh, look at my rotundness. Lol. Let's look at the chat and see what people are talking about. Let's hang out for a bit. You do enjoy watching Bruce while he's soldering something. I agree. Bruce is soldering. He's like kind of like the Bob Ross of that type of thing. The content you've seen in your recommended videos has been mostly C64 Macintosh. Yeah, because those are the popular systems. Yep. Yep. So this one's done. Check the next one. Yeah. Yeah. Go in socket, please. There we go. Cool. So, what did everybody have for dinner tonight? I know that's a really dumb question, but I'm saying it because I'm drinking a pop, which is giving me the burps, which is making me relive dinner. And it's reminding me how tasty it was. I had corned beef hash, homemade corned beef hash for dinner. Have you ever made homemade corned beef hash? You slice up some potatoes, you slice up an onion, and you get a can of corned beef hash. It's just in a can of Hormel stuff. and you just dump it in a pan. You fry the crap out of it in some olive oil, salt, pepper. Done. Simple. Super straightforward. Not something you want to eat every day because the cholesterol will destroy you, but tasty. Domino's. Homemade lasagna. There you go, Eric Cole. That sounds great. Hormel for the win. Yeah, baby. Leftover sushi. Leftover chili. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. Yeah. VHS can't stand corned beef hash. Hey, it's not for everybody. We were, when I was a kid, I was, light's gone green on that. When I was a kid, we were not quite that well off. I'll just put it that way. We were never, like, how can I say, destitute or impoverished or anything, but, we were simple folk. And so we frequently ate simple foods. And one of them that we had a lot was corned beef hash because it's inexpensive, especially in the 80s. In the 80s, you could feed an entire family with one thing of corned beef hash. Just with a lot of potatoes and a lot of onions and one can of corned beef hash, you can feed a family of 5 for one dinner for like $5. It's insanely inexpensive. So it was one of the ways we saved money. So yeah. So I had it a lot as a kid. I always loved it. Grilled cheese, yes. Adam McGee just baked cookies. Now I'm jealous. Now you have to give everybody a cookie. What kind of cookies, Adam? I love cookies. Peanut butter, snickerdoodles, good old-fashioned Nestle's chocolate chip cookies, the original American chocolate chip cookie, which in my opinion is the best chocolate chip cookie recipe ever. Which one? Closing this window. Choco chip. Oh, chalky chip. I'm like Cookie Monster with chalky chips. I love me chalky chip cookies. Absolutely love them. Love them. When you were a kid, your paternal grandmother would occasionally make biscuits and chocolate gravy for breakfast. Oh, that sounds delicious, VHS. Yes. The Toll House recipe, but with large chips. Big chonker chalky chips. Chonker chips. Yes. Absolutely delicious. So we're 45 minutes in. So anybody who's dropping by, who's new, who's stopped in the past few minutes, we are testing out a TRS-80 Model 4P. I got a series of 5 of these from a local electronics company, and they're in various states of functioning. And this one is the most interesting one. The majority of them are just like the floppy drive doesn't work, or the driver board for the video doesn't work. Just simple, like you recap it and fixes it. This one is doing weird things. This one has screen garbage sometimes, or it'll randomly reset itself. And so I'm testing the one obvious thing that I can test, and that's memory. But the other thing that it could be, and it probably is it could be a bad power supply. But the problem is I don't really have an extra power supply to test it with, short of yanking the power supply out of one of the other units. And honestly, I don't feel like doing that because if you go back to the beginning of the stream, you'll see the process that it takes to get one of these apart. It's evil. It's pure evil. So yeah. Okay, everyone, you're making me hungry. Good. You would rather have a VT100 terminal than one of these. This can act as a VT100 terminal. A less reliable one. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. I call that chip good. Again, I'm getting the evening yawns. That doesn't mean I'm tired, because I usually go to sleep at around 1 or 2 in the morning. It just means that my medication is working. It's one of the side effects of my medication. Just yawn randomly. chip is back in. I know this is absolutely boring as heck, but we got to do it. A handy DT100. Ooh. Joe, more than 5 screws? Yes. That thing is a memory chip tester? Yes, it is, Eric Cole. So this is a little DRAM tester that tests 4164s and 41256s, as you can see on the screen. It's basically just an Arduino Uno with a little daughter board, a little shield, as they call them, that I wired together, and some code that I downloaded off the internet. And it allows me to test these chips super quick and super fast without having to spend buttloads of money on a specialized tester. And it does a pretty good job. It's really good at catching bad chips. Basically, if you just Google Arduino RAM tester, you can find the project on the internet. This is the one with the bent pin, so let's fix that real quick. Not that that pin really matters. What is the DT100? Let's Google that. I don't know what a TRS-80 DT100 is. Is it just a terminal? Mac Effect Super Sticker, $2.99. Woo! Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mac Effects. We were talking about you earlier and the wonderful blueberry colored or blue colored clear case SE case that I bought from you. So thank you. DT100. You have a Heathkit H19 terminal on the shelf waiting for repair. Ooh, nifty. I was going to look up, what is this? DT100. TRS-80? DT100? Oh, yeah. The DT100. Oh, I see. It's basically, it's like a Model 3. No. Is it? It's a Wise Dumb terminal. Okay. I'm getting like lots of different pictures for what it is. Oh, that's the DT1. Yeah, the DT1's like the Model 3. The DT100, yeah, I'm seeing it now. It's basically, yeah, it's just a Wise terminal. It's like, yep. Straightforward, uncomplicated. Yep. Got it. Cool. Looks like a VT220 clone. Yeah. That chip's good. Next chip. A little far away. I got to get up and put it in here. Plug it in. Blink. There we go. I'll build up Hulkintosh on a live stream. That'll be fun. Be sure to snap some photos. Yes. The Blueberry Tosh, I definitely want to do a live build of that. If it's not MT memory, should it be all okay, Joe? Yes, pretty much. Although I do have some non-MT memory that is 44-256, so it's a 4-bit, 256 kilobit RAM. Basically, two chips make 256K. And I'm having an ungodly high failure rate on those chips for some reason. And it was for an unrelated project. But they're not MT. They're like Samsung, and they're failing like left and right. So I don't know why. Yep, that one passed the test. That chip did not go in there correctly. Let's try that again. There we go. Blinky, blinky. Go into the socket. Into the socket, please. You can do it. The socket is your home. There you go. I'm looking at the Z80 processor here in this machine, and it's definitely a silver tinned. It has silver tinned legs instead of tin or lead tinned legs because they're all black. That doesn't mean that there's an actual problem there, but there might be. I'm just seeing it right now. You guys, you can't really see it. It's right. The processor is right under here. But yeah, these pins, see how they're all black? They're tarnished. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything because it's been jammed in this socket for 40 years. So it's had, you know, like no oxygen getting up down in there, but it might be a problem. So I might just pop this chip out and deoxid it and pop it back in before we put it together. I thought MT stood for Micron Technology. It does. Kind of, sort of. It's all crap. MT is bad. It's just crap. It's crap. All MT RAM is crap. That one passed. Next. Might as well go ahead and get this out of the socket while we're doing it. Now this chip is interesting because it is an MOS Technologies or MOSTech branded Z80. Like, that's so weird. It was like second sourced by Tandy. Now look at the gunk on those pins, man. Look at that. Nasty. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a trick. Joe's going to show you a little trick. This one trick. So got one of these. We're going to zoom out so we can show you. So we're just going to put that there. And that right there is vinegar. That, yes, I keep in my shop because I'm crazy. So we're going to put a little vinegar in here. In this little bin I have, just enough to cover the legs. And we're just going to pop it in there. And it should, in no time flat, help us get that tarnish off those legs. Not for very long, just short little time. What are people talking about? MT stands for MOSTech. Yes. Pull a Z80 from a Timex Sinclair and toss the shell. There you go. You should list that on eBay. Yeah. Plays taps for that Z80. Yeah. I'd love to go to VCF Midwest, but we'll be on vacation. VCF Midwest says, yeah, it is vacation. Yes, fun stuff. That chip's done. Suddenly, it smells like an Italian restaurant in here. I don't know why. The upside too is that if this is bad, if that is a potentially bad chip, yeah, I have a bin of Z80s. I have plenty of Z80s. We can just shove one in there. It's not a problem. Easy peasy. I even have some up here. Where are they? They're in this bin. Yes, I even have some that are a little bit more proper vintage. These are for 2004, but that first set I showed you are brand new. They are brand new Zilog Z80s. But actually, these are ST Z80s. I take that back. Built in 2015. So, yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's test this last RAM chip. And of course, MOSTech is known for making crappy chips, and it could just be that it's this MOSTech CPU that's the problem. Who knows? It's Tandy branded though. Okay, now let's where's my toothbrush? Smells like a pizza shop up in here. Okay, let's see. Yep. Just cleans it right off, mostly. Y'all talking about VCF Midwest? Yeah. I signed up for Kansas Fest, which is the Apple II thing, but I'm probably not going. Only because I was hoping that COVID rates would drop, and I just don't want to get it. I have not gotten COVID yet. I don't want to get COVID. I've been double vaxxed and single boosted. I go into the doctor on Monday. I might be able to get double boosted, but even then, I don't want to risk getting it. And because the rates are still just stupid, especially in the Midwest, I want to avoid it. I want to avoid problems. So that's not perfect, but it's better. What really works really well for getting this is Tarnex, because it's designed to take silver tarnish off, but whatever. That chip is done over there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my my salad dressing here. Stand by. I'll be right back. I'm just over here by the sink. There we are. I'm back. Not perfect, but it's better. When I'm done, I just dip that into my ultrasonic cleaner solution. My cleaner solution is, according to the bottle, slightly alkaline, which means it should negate, or how can I say, neutralize the vinegar so it doesn't sit on these pins and chew into stuff. And it no longer smells like vinegar, so it did the job. Yes. Yeah, you think you had Omicron and was vaccinated, felt like a cold. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Part of me too is just like, I'm also like sort of super like, if I can do anything to prevent harm, I will also do that. So like if I get sick while I'm at Kansas Fest, all I'm doing is spreading it to other people at K-Fest, some of which might not, be able to actually handle it. Or they decided to not get vaccinated for whatever reason. And like, even though in that case you could theoretically say they deserved it, I'm not that kind of guy. So I just don't want to do that, right? Loud noise, I'm going to dry the chip off here. There we go. Chip is dried off. Cool. So we can put the RAM chip back in. We're done with the RAM tester. RAM chip goes back in. Check all these to make sure they are all in the correct orientation. They are. Got it. Vinegar. Now this goes back in this socket. I'm going to deoxit that socket a little bit. We're just going to hit it. Just going to hit it, just in case. Won't hurt. Won't hurt a thing. I'm going to kind of wiggle the chip up and down in the pins just to clean the pins up. Let the deoxit do its thing. There we go. Now I am going to soak up a little of the extra deoxit. It does technically, it evaporates eventually, but I just don't want goo all over the board here. All right. Now we get to, quote, assemble it, unquote, which is not really what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of fold it back in half like a really bad cookie. And then we'll see what happens. So that means this has got to kind of sort of come up like this. And that works. And I really just need to put a couple screws in it so it doesn't fall apart. That goes down there. Cool. That goes there. That goes there. Just a couple, just so it doesn't fall apart. I know you can't see anything. I'm in the way. There we are. Cool. That is enough. Now, as long as I just don't put my fingies back in here while it's trying to operate, should be okay. So who wants to take bets that this is actually going to fix anything? I don't think it's going to fix anything, but it's one of those due diligence things that you always do, just in case, because it's an easy fix if it is the fix. Cool. So there's the machine. Let's get you a little bit down on its level, bro. There we are. Cool. And power. Power is in. And power switch. Nothing. You see that? This is what it's doing. Just random nothingness. Yes, the CRC contact cleaner. Yes. I use that stuff as well. I used both deoxate and CRC. I use both. I have the CRC up here as well. There's the CRC. Now, CRC usually doesn't leave, is quick drying, leaves no residue. It doesn't leave a lot of oily stuff behind, whereas the deoxate does. The deoxate is more of like a short-term like it's an anti-rust type of thing, anti-corrosion, whereas the CRC contact cleaner is literally just a contact cleaner. Yeah, so this thing is doing nothing now. Whole bunch of nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. Zilcho. So now we're going to test voltages. And when you look like right here, we got a power connector that we can test voltages with. So let's do that. Because if the power supply is not working, that's going to tell us what's going on. So, I'm bumping into the camera. Sorry. So what do we have here? What is this? What is this thing? This beautiful Kaiweets KM601 multimeter that you guys can't see because of my studio lights and things. Let's see if we can get it arranged here so you guys can see it. And not the reflection of my fat gut. There we go. You can kind of see that. That's slightly better. Maybe. Kind of, sort of better. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. So I want to put it on volts mode. And grab this connector back here that you can't see me grabbing. Put the ground in the black wire, and we put red in here. 5.3 volts. 10.93. Would you look at that? 12 volt voltage is low. And yeah, that's probably going to cause us a problem. That is probably going to cause us a problem. So I'm going to guess that is probably our issue. It is a bad power supply. Now, quick research before I dug into all of this stuff has really indicated that bad power supplies are a big thing with these. Huge thing with these guys. Yeah, that reset button is, I mean, the board isn't even powering up now. It's just gone. So, yeah. So we're going to turn that off. I'm not a fan of that meter. Got to find one, but slow. Got one, but find it slow in continuity test. Agreed, Rudy. The continuity test on this meter is slow. I prefer the continuity test on my my Bryman BM601, which is an EEV blog product. But the problem with that meter is that it died. It failed and is in parts. It's in this little bin over here. I took it apart to try to fix it, and I can't figure out what's wrong with it. It just randomly freezes now. So yeah, I don't use that meter anymore. Anyway, so now the big thing is what do we do to fix the power supply? Well, the power supply is connected to these 4 bolts on this plate. So if you remove this plate, you can kind of get to the power supply. In theory, take it out and replace it. I can actually, I'm going to unplug the machine. I'll take these screws out and we'll show it to you. Because why not? Because fun stuff. And then I'll do a quick show and tell and show you where you can get new power supplies. You could, in theory, replace the power supply, but from what I've heard from the community over the past few days of messing with these things, is that they have a tendency to have bad transistors and diodes and stuff, and yeah. Oh, nice, a stripped screw. Somebody has definitely been in here. Yep, sure has. So here's the power supply. I just have to be a little bit ginger. There we are. You don't have to worry too much because the big high voltage stuff is over here for the tube. But there is the power supply. Nothing too super complicated. It's just a pretty straightforward supply. I don't feel any heat coming off of anything. That's not even warm. I mean, this voltage regulator isn't even generating any heat. So that regulator's probably blown. Yep. And so I could recap this, but who knows what's actually wrong with the thing, right? It's like only the 12 volt is off, but like, why is it off? Do you know why it's off? I don't know why it's off. Who knows why it's actually off? So I'm going to see if I can pull up a really cool website and I can show you where we find these if you want to stand by. Ron, I have no idea what your joke means, but I'm sure it's actually hilarious because you are. So let's see here. I wanted to pull up this website. Stand by. I got a million tabs open. I just got to find it. It's one of these tabs. Here it is. So we're going to go to TRS-80, your favorite. Yeah. Cool. Boing! Yep, that's what we're working on. What are the voltages that are supposed to come out of that power supply unit? Well, I tested the voltages on the Molex connector. This is your standard Molex connector. It's 12, ground, 5. And this measured 10.5, ground, 5.3. So the voltages are just wacky. They're all over the place. Something in here is not functioning. Now, there are tons of other voltages that come out of that too. I'm sure -5, -12, stuff like that for the chips on this board that could just be all over the place as well. And especially, I believe the Z80 uses a 12 volt supply. Z80 pin out. Let me double check that. 5 volts and ground. No, the Z80 doesn't use 12 volts. I take that back. Was it the 8080 that had? Yeah, it was the 8080 that had funky voltages is what it was. Yeah. But there could be other chips on this that use funky voltages. Uses -5, for example, as a reference for the video sync pulses or so. Who knows? I don't know. And if the negative voltages are screwed up, or it's using the 12 volt as a reference and it's screwed up or whatever, stuff's just not going to work right? So the best way is to eliminate this entire thing as a variable and just get a new power supply for it anyway, which I really should do for all 5 of these, but whatever. Check the CRT. It is a heavy 12 volt user. Yeah, the CRT could be dead as well. The CRT and this one had raster, right? If showing raster, everything was fine there. So I'm not thinking that that's a big deal there. Yes. So stand by. I had the page open here that had power supplies from one of the TRS-80 dudes. RAM used the 12.2, not in this machine, Thomas. This uses 4164 RAMs, which are only 5 volts and ground. We went through all that earlier, actually. Back later. Bye. So I wanted to do. I need to click a doodle buttons. Share screen, screen 2. Sure. So this is the website, plaidvest.com/newsoft. Okay. James or Jay Newworth here is the guy that runs this. But yeah, lots of cool stuff for these machines on this website. Replacement badges, cases for the Fred or Free HD, replacement Model 3 power supply units, Model 4 power supply units, blah, 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 blah. Here's a TRS-80 Model 4 or 4P case badge, which is kind of needed because my 4P is missing its face badge. So that's a thing. Or one of them is. And where was the power supply? He had a Model 4P. Yep, right here. Here's the power supply that we would need. $75. Pretty standard for these things. Yep, and it's just, it's just your standard Meanwell power supply with funky voltages. And then he's got like extra connected doodles on the proper what's a doodle, and it does the thing. So that's going to probably be needed for this. Super zoom. Yeah, it's just you can see here, it's just standard Meanwell power supply. Nothing fancy there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. So I would probably want to get one of those resets. Can you reset to 100%? Is my browser like messed up? This browser window is, there it is. That's reset. There we go. So yeah, that font hurts my brain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Connected doodles. At connected doodles. Yes. Connected doodles, thingamadoodles, thingamabobs. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, So that's what we need to do to get that thing. Are the Tandy power supplies generally bad? Well, that's a really good question. So let's just go ahead and change the screen around. Oh, you can see my right screen. Stand by. So that's a really good question. Are the power supply? Why? What? No, stop. So the thing is they're not particularly bad, but the machine is 40 years old, just like Apple IIs. And so you get things where it'll pop refas, or sometimes happens with the Apple II supplies. It'll just like the regulator, the regulator, or the switching circuitry goes wonky, and it'll just trip internally, or it just won't voltage stuff, whatever. So yeah. So, and here's what Mark is saying. Power supplies in general of this age are sketchy now. Yeah, they just are. So the Meanwell supplies are hacked in as a replacement, have been become the replacement, because Meanwell supplies are really good. And they'll give you another 40 years of operation. You just slap the supply in there. It solves all of the problems. You don't have to think about it. So yeah. And if you search for the Meanwell MPQ-200B, that should fit the bill. Yes. The cool thing about Jay Newworth's website is that Jay has it with the special. It's got the special. It comes with a special PCB. It's designed with the PCB and little connections and stuff to that PCB, so you can just screw it directly in place and not have to worry about zip ties and funkiness and bodge wires and stuff. You just throw it in there, plug it right in, and you're done. So in this particular one, that's probably what we're going to need here. So yeah. Mark effects. Haha! Nerd joke. Yeah. So anyway. $5 super sticker. Woo! Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's basically what I plan to do tonight. Not a lot going on with these machines. Again, I acquired them because they were there and I saw them, and I wanted to to preserve them. I wanted to get them into the hands of people who could love them and use them. I will be keeping one of them. The other 4 are up for sale. I'm selling them at cost plus shipping. So my cost on each of them right now is $75 a piece. That is about half of the price of what you usually find them on Fleabay and other similar websites. They will come as is unless you want to pay me to fix them, which is a thing. But a lot of these are simple fixes. 3 of them have little glitchy issues. Two are perfectly fine. The 3 that have glitchy issues are a very variable mess of grab bag of stuff. So this one here, of course, I'm pretty sure it's just a bad power supply. But I need to get one or yank one out of one of the other machines and throw it in here to test it. I'm not sure I want to do that. We can. Do I have one open? Do I have a machine? I do have another machine open here. We can just take the entire power supply unit out. And we only have to unplug these plugs and plug it back in. We might do that here real quick. It is easy enough. I don't have to. If I had to open another unit up to get into it to do it, I wasn't going to do it. But I do have one open, so we might do that. 2 of them have no raster or no net glow. They have CRT, what I'm calling CRT system failure. Now, that probably just means the high voltage board is bad, right? Or has an issue. In many cases, it's just caps, but it could be anything in those cases. In both of those cases, however, and I'll show you a little thing I did. I made a the world's dumbest quick and dirty adapter thing here that allowed me to connect it to the video connection on the board, on the logic board with power and just a quick 74LS86 chip, which is the same chip that Ron uses in this. I wonder why we always use this for sync generation, because of the way sync signals work. But anyway, this is a 74LS86 wired together with some resistors for some voltage drop and stuff. And I'm able to shove it, and that's why this monitor is back here as well. I'm able to shove it at a standard NTSC style composite monitor, and it shows enough of a signal to let me know that the machine was working. So in these other 2, machines, they function. Like I can plug it into this fudged external monitor, boot off floppies, do everything. They work fine. It's just the CRT circuitry that's bad. So whoever wants those to try to fix the CRTs is fine. You could, in theory, yank the CRT out and put in some sort of composite replacement thing with a scan doubler, blah, 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 and an LCD if you wanted to do all that. Or if you've got a Model 4P with a bad logic board or something like that, not that those will go bad because they don't battery bomb, because they don't have batteries. You can use it as spare parts or something like that. Oh my gosh, super stickers. Wow, look at this. So Ron gave me a super sticker, 99 cents. Woo! Thank you, Ron. And another Mac Effects super sticker, 99 cents. Woo! Thank you. People are asking me lots of questions. If one of them turns out to be non-repairable, I'd like the empty chassis. Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm going to put your name on the secondary list here. So we got Vintage Hillbilly Shack. You're on the list. I love all computers, maybe broken ones more than working ones. Greg, if you want one and everybody else backs out, you're interested in one if they're available. Well, I will put your name on the list. If you called out and want one of these as well, you can go to jcm-1.com/contact, or just go to jcm-1.com. And go to my contact page. You can drop me an email there, so I actually have your contact information, so we can get at you. Yeah. Yes. Ron of Ron's Computer Videos. Yes. I have a stack of 25 Apple II power supplies that don't work even after recap. Yeah. Maybe you should just design Power supply based off of a mean well. PCB design should be easy. Yeah, the thing, Adam, is that basically, what's his name? Reactive Micro's already done that. Henry at Reactive Micro's already done that, and you can get those for $99. They're a little bit pricey, but I mean, knowing the cost of the actual cost of the supply is about $60 in bulk, because they're like a medical grade supply, and then the work he put in to design the little PCB stuff that it like you assemble it together to go into the machine. It doesn't surprise me that 99 makes sense. Yeah, so. So yeah, if anybody you want to reach out to me about one of these TRS-80s, let me know. That's the contact information. Thank you, Justin, for putting that in there. 99 is too much. Well, dude, I mean, it's not hard. I mean, like, so do it. If you want to do it, do it. These are $25 computers. Yeah, I get it. I do understand. I understand. Yeah. So that's what's going on with these machines. Here, I will show you my screen here. We can go through all of the bits and pieces. This is a question mark of the inventory of these, so you can see. Ken's like, were these Tandys the ones with the Unix-like OS, or was that Coco's? These are neither. These have their own proprietary style operating system on them. That was called TRS-DOS. They also run an updated version of that was by a third party called LS-DOS, or sometimes just called LDOS. They use the same disk format. You can also get them that boot and run CPM, because they have Z80. They'll run CPM as long as you've got the right boot process on, or the right bootloader set up, and you give the right BIOS file that tells CPM where the hardware is, how to access the different hardware. It'll just work. So yeah, I wanted to share my screen again because I wanted to show you my inventory of these. Screen to allow. So here's my inventory. I'll zoom in a little bit. So I got 5 of these guys. Can I zoom in one more step? There we go. That works better. So I got 5 of these guys, numbered unit 2 through 6. Literally number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the back. Where's unit 1? I don't know. It wasn't there. Maybe it's completely gone. Maybe it caught fire. I don't know. But I went through all of them. None of them are the newer gate array board. So they're all earlier versions. Some of them have board mods. And some of them don't have board mods. The ones that have board mods, you can see, are all the revision PP3 units, which are pre-production 3, so I guess they're very early units. The ones that don't have mods are revision A, so where they put the mods in afterwards. They all power up. Every single one of them turns on, so that's a thing. All of them boot, with the exception of this one. No, I got that to boot. Yep, that one boots. So they all boot, and this one here doesn't. All of the floppy drive 0s are okay. Some of them have bad floppy drive 1s with bad motors or whatever. And this unit 6 is the one we just tested. It doesn't. We didn't test it. All of them have the keyboards work, with the exception of this one here, which has a couple of keys that don't work. This unit here is the only one of the units, unit 3 here, that has 64K of RAM. The rest of them have a whole 128. Right? Yep. All these units need power supplies, keyboards at a minimum. Yeah. You're talking about your Apple IIs. Yep. The logic board on this is good, and we just tested this one, and I'm pretty sure the logic board is good on that one. So logic board's fine. Unit 5 is honestly probably the one I'm going to keep for myself, because it's the one that needs the least work. Unit 2 is, and the green ones here are the ones that work. They work just fine. But yeah, this one has a little bit of jitter on the CRT and power supply. Again, they probably just need work. These have no raster. And this one, the power supply works, but it's got, or the CRT works, but it's got jitter. And here, I'm pretty sure that needs service. So power light works on that one. Front badge, this one has front badge. So yeah, some of these don't have lids. Some of them do have lids. So there you go. If you keep unit number 5, call it Johnny. Johnny 5, no disassemble. Oops. You can build a Fort Apple II cases. Yes. So yeah, that's what's going on. You can get parts from there. And then here's the URL. The one URL that talks about the different schematics here of the different machines. Yeah, sure, we'll just use that. Use that window. And you can go in here and there's like this old like TRS-80 group post from 1 billion years ago that's on the VC Fed website that's talking about like the different models of boards. And this is where the PP3, pre-production 3, was referenced in here, like right here, right? So yeah, and this is really cool because it shows all the different revisions. If you look at the PP3 of the 4P right there, that's the board I have. And you can see that these are later boards based on the dates of chips and things like that. So this is like these couple that I have are like literally first gen units. So yep. So that's the deal with that. Right. Wow. Yeah. Back to stop screen. So just looking at the chat. Interested in broken Apple IIs for $25, especially if a non-working keyboard and power supply were included. Yeah. Apple IIs are great. They're just neat, like potatoes or something. Yeah. Justin says, I'll be willing to take one of the units that needs more work because that gives me live stream opportunities. Well, there's 3 that have issues. We've got this one here that has the power supply problem. So if you want that one, I think that one might be the option for you, because the other ones are CRT problems. There's nothing on the screen at all. The screen doesn't even light up. So that means you're getting to high voltage stuff. That means you're taking out the other board. You can't see it. Here. So this is the power supply, which is just regular voltage. But this is the high voltage board back here, or this is the CRT driver board that's got the flyback and stuff on it. So yeah, you can talk to me offline, off at the side, and we can figure that out. But this one likely requires this board to be done with, and it may just need to have the board taken out and have all of the joints reflowed, because it doesn't, because well, on the bad ones anyway, it has no neck glow. Like the CRT doesn't even turn on, so it's not getting any voltage to the CRT, right? So yeah. So you let me know. Joe, can you start by swapping boards just to see if they work with a known good PSU? Yes, we can do that. That sounds like a fun thing. Let's do that. I happen to have one over here. I'm going to move this way back, way back, because I have to kind of like do weird stuff on the floor down here because I'm out of bench space. So here's this unit. Kind of roll it to the side here. If I can get it kind of sort of situated. See if we can get the power supply unit out of this one. And then we can put it in that. No voltage CRT sounds a flyback or horizontal output transistor. Yes, a lot of people were saying that the transistors on the high voltage board were an issue. So basically, this disconnects, and that disconnects, and this disconnects, and this disconnects. Right, just like that. Cool. That's a known good supply. So we can now take this and get it out of the way. It's falling apart. Oh my gosh, it's falling apart into pieces. Oh my gosh. There are no screws in it. There's no screws. Go over here. Go over here. Go over there. Okay. So now we got to take this apart. So it's purple than that. Okay, cool. Good to know. So we get this one out. Potential bad supply. This one goes in. Known good supply. That goes there. That goes there. This goes here. Right? Yep. Cool. Fuse is good. Well, we know the supply is voltage, so it's not an issue that way. It's potentially supplying bad voltage. And that is connected in that way. Okay, cool. So then this kind of just goes here. And if I'm careful with it, I can just lay it there. Cool. So let's see if this works. It's either going to work or it's going to explode. Which one? The choice is yours on the price of Joe. Da-da-da-da! Yep, turns on. Haha, nada. So this one does have a logic board problem. Would you look at that? Cool. We broke it. We made it worse. I know there's retrace lines here. I'm just making sure the screen has brightness. That's the way all these screens are. The brightness all the way up shows retrace. That's just how literally every single one of them is. I don't know why. It's just the way they're designed. It's the weirdest thing. And if you adjust the cutoff here, it just like turns it just, yeah. Measure voltages, please. Okay. Put it in voltage mode. Voltage mode. Measure voltages. Okay. Ground is ground. The 5 volts is 5.3. And the 12 volts is 10.9. So the 12 volts is still low. Nice. Very interesting. But use a better meter. It's the meter I got. It measures voltages just fine. So it's not a power supply problem. Something else going on? I broke the machine when I put it back together. You can take a look at the logic board again. You can disconnect. There we go. We'll put this back where it belongs. And that 10 volt, the 12 volt rail being low is suggesting me something shorted or not behaving itself. So let's get into the guts of this very, very carefully, because now its ass is exposed. Joe said ass on stream. Doobie. Eric says hi! How you doing, Eric? This may end up being a lot more interesting stream than I thought. If you've just stopped by recently, remember to smash the like button. Hit it. Hit the like button. Tell YouTube that you like my content. So then we have to raise this up on its face so that this can come down like this. I'm not feeling any heat issues on anything on the board. Now I'm going to give the board just a quick visual examination. Specifically, these chips that I just put in it. Make sure I didn't miss a pin. I didn't cross something over. Make sure they're all in the sockets correctly. All of that. They are. The CPU put in correctly. It is oriented properly. It is in the socket. You can try putting a different CPU in it because that's a MOSTEC Z80, so who knows. Well, that's one of the little stickers that tells us what these chips are. I'm just going to pull them all off. They don't matter. Reseat all the chipadoodles. Yep, they're all reseated. Connections are all just fine, no problem there. Okay. So we're not getting anything on the screen, but who knows? Who knows? It might actually still be working, and it's not signal's not getting to the CRT for some reason. So another thing we can do is we can power this up and connect it to like a GoTech or something, which I have one already set up for testing. The other thing we can do is we can set up my little sync gen thingy madoodle and see if that works as well. Which is, I wonder why that monitor's on, because I've been playing for this last week. So let's check this out. Let's go ahead and, so that we checked all that out, I'm going to kind of put this back together. Random garbage in the bottom of this case. Okay. Just looking. Just looking. Stand by. Yeah. Look like I know anything? I don't know anything about anything. I just guess until it works. So that goes like that, and this goes over here, and it's better if the keyboard is off to the one side. That's usually the way it works best. Power supply. Power supply back together. That goes there. That goes there. This goes here. This goes here. This do it. There we go. That kind of just lays on top there all nice and pretty like. Cool. So let's hook up the GoTech and see if the GoTech tries to do anything. So the drive 0, which goes here like this. I need my spider adapter doodle so I can get my voltage for the GoTech. So we'll boot it up this way and see what this does. Turn that brightness down just a little bit. GoTech's on. It is not trying to do anything. You guys can't see it, but I can. It is not trying to do anything. So we broke it. Cool. Yep. Yep. We made it more dead. I use a random pick so I can shake my fist at the universe. You've got this crazy idea to replace the keyboard mech with Mac 128 parts. Yes. Exceptionally complete documentation for the 4.4p hardware here. Yes, there is. And I'm just going to click that and be like, yep. Thank you. I'm just reading your comments while I was not paying any attention. Screw number 37, 38, 39. Yes. Yes. Yep. Following you up. Got it. Cool. I'm caught up. So it's not a power supply issue now. Logic board is just toast. What do we mess with in the logic board? The RAM and the CPU. So we could just try throwing a different Z80 at it and see what happens. Although Z80 doesn't have anything to do with the 12-volt rail. Neither didn't do any of those RAM chips. None of those use 12 volts. So like, huh? What? Sorry, my nose is itching. Itchy nose. It's dusty. It's dust. Huh. I mean, why not? I'll try it. I'm willing to try it. Are you willing to watch me try it? Why not? It'll be fun. Disconnect power. I'm going to screw that power supply in real quick. Zip, zip. Hello, zip, zip. It's on the floor. Hi, zip, zip. Just so it doesn't, fall out on me while it's on its top. Cool. Now, let's slide this downwards. Because what we can do is we can actually hook things up here in a very particular manner to see if this is working while we have the board splayed out. So let's just swap the chip. Why not? Why not? It ain't gonna fix crap, and we're gonna do it. Bend that RAM chip lead back out of place. Yeah, which one was it? Does somebody want to scrub back and tell me which one it was? Because I don't remember. I mean, I can do all of them. I know it was in this front row. I could just pull the whole row. I could pull the whole row. I mean, that row isn't needed for it to post. So we'd see. I know you can't see anything. I'm in the way. I'm getting my Z80s. Whatever. I'll find it later. Didn't that RAM shit lead back in place? Yes. Which one was it? Check the CPU with your oscilloscope. Yes, lots of different things we can do here. Let's just try yanking all of this entire bank of RAM out first and just see if we get different results. Why not? Because maybe that pin was bent out on purpose, like Rudy is suggesting. Call Radio Shack technical support. Will they give me a free 9-volt battery? Can I join the battery club? We actually had, when I was a kid here in my hometown, well, it's not really my hometown, my second hometown, we had a Radio Shack, and they still fix these old things, because when we moved here in 1989, these things were still being used by people. Diskette Fett. Hi, Disc Grease. How you doing? So that's there. Yeah. So let's go ahead and just put the CPU back in. Yep. And we'll plug the flatbed cable back in. Like that. And we will power this up here like so. Now we can turn this on. You know, if the cable would stay connected. You can stay connected, cable. That is a thing that you are allowed to do. You're allowed to stay plugged in. We just kind of set that there so I can watch it. Power wheels. This goes here. But we have to do weird funkadoodles here to get to the power switch. We gotta because it's underneath the front. So I gotta prop that up. Make sure that this connected properly. It is. The cable was in the fan. That was scary. So I'm watching this to see if it tries to boot. I'm getting nothing. It's not trying to do anything on this at all. So I'm presuming that it's not a RAM issue. Because we yanked out the one with the bad chip in it. Remember, it tested correct. So it tested proper. So let's swap the CPU. Why not? Could be the cuckoo. I don't see how that would be affecting the 10-volt rail, but you know, doesn't hurt to try. So we put a different CPU in it. Make sure that went in there. It did. Try that. It's booting. You guys can't see it here, but it's actually reading tracks. It was a bad CPU. Bad processor. Well, would you look at that? You see it blinking here and doing stuff? Did it actually boot? I don't know. Now it like stopped. Like it went back to. It's like I don't know what it's doing here. It's like sort of blinking and sort of resetting. Weird. Maybe it's not a bad. It's loading tracks again. Ah, you can't see it, but I can. The screen here has garbage on it again. Interesting. Very interesting. So now that I swapped the CPU, let's test voltages. Let's do that. I might add the adapter doodle, the video adapter here, so we can show it up on the screen so you can see what it's doing. But now that it's like trying to boot, let's check the voltages again, right? So we've got ground. We know the 12-volt rail is the one that's weird. 12 volts on the money, 12.23. 5 volts on the money. Wild. That's funky. Okay. You guys couldn't really see that, but let me see if I can set you up so you can see it. So the 12-volt rail we know was funky before, right? 12.2. It's a little high, but it's not too bad. 5-volt rail, 5.0. Dead nuts. Interesting. Cool. So let's turn this off. That's why I like these live streams sometimes. Just stuff happens. Just stuff happens. So it's sort of booting, but it still showed garbage on the screen. You guys couldn't see it, but there was garbage on the screen here. So let's attach my video adapter thing so we can see it up here and we can both see what it's doing. Does that sound like a plan? It's kind of like it's kind of looks weird and wigs out, but it works. So. Process of getting this cable out is a pain in the butt. Okay. My Joe's funky video adapter is plugged in. I just need my composite video cable, which is hiding out over here. Plug that in here. All right. Plug the power back in. Can also turn that video down a little bit so we're not using it. Okay, let's see what happens. Now I'm not getting a signal out of the thing. Why is that? It was working before. Interesting indeed. And now it's again not trying to boot. But it had video just 30 seconds ago. Weird. Weird stuff. It's pin 34 is power. That's ground. Video's connected. Yep. Weird stuff, man. And see, here's the challenge of working on this dumb thing, is that it's such a pain. I swear this is working before. I swear my adapter works. I'm on the right video mode. Yep, I'm on the AV mode. Monitor's got neck glow. Yep, I don't know if you can see that. This monitor is definitely working. See that little orange dot? Neck glow. So that monitor's functioning. Let me just double check, make sure I'm not doing something incorrectly here. Ground goes to that side. Yes. That's there. That's plugged in. Those wires are there. They're all there. Everything's together. And then this is my 5-volt power, which goes right here. Yep. Try it again. Yep. Try it again. Hello, power switch. No video. Wild. Lovely. Yes. Well, yeah, understood on the filament heater there, Greg. Let's check these voltages again. Why not? What are you at now? 11.76. Now it's a little bit low. 5.1 and the 5's high. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. But it's still within spec. It's different, but in spec. Weird stuff, man. Weird stuff. Weird. So this one is definitely funky. This one's going to need... I know you guys couldn't really see me doing much of anything there. I was just trying to get video to work. Funky, funky stuff. Some short for 12 to 5, maybe. I don't know. I think this thing is eating Z80s. It could. It could be. Very well could be. Some IC puts 12 volt to 5 volt line. Could be. Something shorting out the CPU. Could be. Yep. Very well could be. Who knows? But for now, we're going to end this little escapade because this thing's got me frustrated and I need to step away from it for a minute before I decide to explode. Oh, some serial driver IC were known to do that if they fail. Yeah, could be. Like, but how do I know? How do I find that out? You know? How do you find that out? How do you know? Who knows? Thoughts? Might want to trace back the CPU socket voltage to see if you have a short. Yes, we can do that. When they let go, they pull data lines to bad voltages. Yes. Does it have 4116 RAM? No, it has 4164, and we tested all of them. Does anything get warmer to the touch? Good question. We just had this on. So if there is anything warm, it should be warm right now. Nothing is warm. Not a single chip. Nope. Everything's fine. No drivers are warm. No capacitors. Nothing. And by warm, I mean not hot. I mean, I can feel a little bit of warmth, but not anything major. You love your IR camera. Greg, yes, I need to get one. I need to get one. Yeah, it's like nothing is hot at all. Yeah. It found a bunch of ceramic caps on your PET board that it turned into resistors. Yes. Is the ROM verified good? I don't know. Can you even verify that? Like, here, let's look at it. That's the ROM. If you can figure out how to verify that, I would love to know how. I mean, good enough that earlier it was working before stream. It was working marginally enough that I was able to boot it and get it working. And it was like randomly resetting itself. So I don't think it's a ROM issue. Those are standard EEPROMs. Yeah, but like, who wants to play with those pins and figure out their voltages and whatever? I'll do it eventually, you know. What kind of ROM is it? That is looks like probably a 32. It's an AMD. I'd have to kind of scrape that sticker off there to find out. Shaky cam. Wait while Joe gets a very sharp implement and proceeds to cut himself wide open. It is a 2732. Standard, bog standard 2732. But it's got weird pins on it that are tied for reasons. So I'd have to research that. Yeah. Yeah, Rod, did you just release a video where you were fixing a PowerBrick 100 or something like that? The TL866 can probably read it out. You mean that TL866? That I have? Deoxit on the sockets. Yeah, we already tried that. Probably originally used a 2532. Yeah, I don't know. And again, this is a PP3 board, which is an early revision board. So yeah. Yeah, we used deoxit on the CPU socket. That's really but it could be like, who knows? Like, it could be literally any chip on that board. Like, which one is it? I don't know which one it is. I know this is Joe's Computer Museum and he fixes stuff, but like, I'm not Curious Mark. I'm not that smart. So I just kind of throw solutions at or just chips at the problem until it solves itself for the most part. I do, do stuff with this oscilloscope and all that, but whatever. If I'm trying to think, particularly painful 3, yes. I'm trying to think, start at the clock and reset lines and work forward. Yeah, I know all that. Do I have schematics? There are schematics out there, Rudy. Yes. I'm just hoping it's an easy fix. So I sit back and think about it. I also don't think very well under pressure or with an audience. So the one thing I am thinking is I really don't think. Yeah, I agree, Adam. Like something's shorting, something's funky there, but I'm not sure that it's the 12-volt line being shorted to the 5-volt line. I'm not 100% certain of that, because then it would go all the way down to like 7 volts, wouldn't it? Because basically it's 12 minus 5 is 7. So it would be dropping 7 volts. Or yeah, it would be dropping 5 of the volts effectively, because there's a 5-volt differential. A NOP adapter. Yeah, I could do that. I have to make one. Can you test the Z80 and something else to see if it got fried? Probably. Just fix an accelerator plus by starting with the clock. Yep. Can we test the Z80 and something else? In theory, yes. To my left, I have... Can you zoom out? Are you done zooming out? Apparently zooming out. To my left, no weird addresses on boxes or anything. No. To my left, I have an Apple II and an Apple III. And with the Apple III, I have a soft card 3 I can throw at it, which takes a Z80. So we could try that. Why not? Let's do it. I'm gonna wreck it. So we need to get this unplugged and out of the way, because it's just physically in the way. Video cable. Where are you going? There we are. Stand by, going off screen for a second. I got to put this over here in the pile. I'm starting to get Mac 84 levels of mess back here. Somebody save me. Somebody rescue me. The Apple IIe, which is up here for diagnostic purposes, just gets unplugged from this real quick. And the video adapter goes over here. This entire setup just moves to the side. You can live. I don't want you living there. How about right here? You live right there for now. Works for me. Great. And then this just moves over here. There it is. Cool. Apple III. Apple III. Naked. After dark. So now I need my soft card. I have to find my working soft card. 3. I have one. I know I do. I gotta find it. I have to remember where I stuck it. Soft card 3. Down here in this box for some reason. No. Is it over here for some reason? Okay, are you over here? That's the P+2. Nope. You hiding out in any of these boxes? Nope. See, look at all the projects I have. Look at all the things. Look at all the things I'm working on. Is it in here? No. If Mark is still here, that's the keyboard project. So apparently I don't have that soft card. So we can go back to a different soft card. I have to find it, mainly because it's easy for me to get to. I have other whole machines that take a Z80, but the Apple The Apple Z80s are easy for me to get the chip in and out of, so that's why I want to use those. So that goes back on here. This goes back up here. Ow, I hurt myself. So, heck, the K-Pro uses a Z80. We could use the K-Pro. Do you want to do that? You want to use the K-Pro? It's easy enough to get into. Let's do that. You can use the K-Pro. I say you reactive micro power supply. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let's run the K-Pro over here because I sort of have space here. Let's do that. It's very easy enough to test. So we're going to do that. Stand by. I got to fetch it. All right. Here's where we see to throw my back out. Cool. Just put the Z80 right, the K-Pro right up here. Let's take out a few screws. K-Pro. Not enough room. Now you know why I want to get rid of these TRS-80s. Not enough room. You got stuff piled up on the floor. There's not enough room. I need a nice matching printer for that K-Pro. Yes. Rudy's trying to get me to get this K-Pro printer. But Rudy doesn't see that. Where am I going to put it, Rudy? I'd love for you to tell me where I'm going to put it. Where's it going to go? Where am I going to put it, sir? Look at the mannequin. Look at all the spaces I don't have. I just need a quick bin for my K-Pro screws. I don't lose them. Okay. Oops, I forgot to take this off. That's got to. The keyboard's got to come off first. Then the lid can come off. And, ow! Hit my head. Hit my head on a light back here. You probably saw me do it right there. So yes, now we need to power you on. We will need power for that. Yes. Yeah, power cord laying down here somewhere. I know I have a spare literally laying here. I will steal this one. Sure, why not? Whatever. Oh, it's up here. Yeah, I put it right here. It's right here. It's right here. That goes in this. Yep. Keyboard. Keyboard. First things first, I'm going to turn the K-Pro on and make sure it works. I'm sure it does. K-Pros are fairly indestructible machines. Can you lay up there and not fall down? Great. Awesome. Cool. So the K-Pro is working just fine. Cool. No problems. Move out of the way. So good. Now, we are going to throw a chip at it. Right? That's what you wanted me to do, so we're going to do it. Let's put the original CPU from the TRS-80 in it. I have to identify the chip. 6545 Z80 right here. An original Zilog Z80. Being a pain in the butt. It really does not want to come out of the socket. Because it's never been out of its socket. It's been in here since 1984. Like, I don't want to leave my home. I'm 39 years old. 38 years old. Okay, it's out. We'll put this Z80 in it. Now this is the original Z80 that was in the machine, or in the TRS-80 that was over there. We'll see what this does. Smoke! It's just fine. Not a CPU problem. That is the original CPU. Not even getting warm. Something else in that machine is giving me a problem. Cool. Well, that's a good test. That's helpful to know. So now we can put this chip back. Do it. No bent pins, please. Wow, this really does not want to go back in there. Make sure that that's back in there properly, proper orientation, yes. Make sure it works. Yep, it's fine. It's good. Cool. So it's not a bad CPU. It's not a bad cuckoo. If anything, it's probably a bad tantalum cap. And it's just messing up something because it's like randomly shorting the 12-volt rail to different voltages. Maybe. I don't know. K-Pro for the win. Yes. Oh, gosh. So it could be. Who knows? Who knows? Let me stare at it for a minute. Something might hit me. Anybody got thoughts? Go back and read the chat real quick. My Z80 is a Zilog, not some Moss crap. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Radio Shack used the cheapest parts. Yes, they did. First dot matrix, great. What brand of RAM is in the TRS-80? This machine has Tandy Corporation branded primary RAM, and the secondary RAM is whatever that is. If I could get it in screen. So, I don't know. Heck, the primary RAM could be bad. Not the secondary. Yeah, the Zilogs are always good. Hashtag math. Yes. Try to remove unnecessary ICs like SIO and PIOs. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure. Yep, we can do that. Most machines run fine. I'm just had an Osborne with a bad SIO. Yeah. So that's the floppy chip. This is the floppy chip right here. I have to identify what these chips are so I know what to take out. That's the CPU. So I don't know if will it boot without the floppy chip? Probably. Or post? Probably. Might be MT RAM. And it might be. It might be. Who knows? So what are your votes? Do we want to... Are the single wipe sockets? No, they are dual wipe sockets. The floppy disk controller in here is a 1793. Mitsumi MSM could be. You'd be busting out the O-scope. Yeah. So what do we want to do? Do we want to swap RAM? Do we want to try to yank everything, all the peripheral chips out? Is the RAM socketed? Yes, it is. It's all right here. You can barely see it. It's right down here. Just to replace it. Yeah, we can try that. Why not? I mean, none of it's blown so bad that it was hot like MT RAM likes to do, but we can try it. Why not? Why not? These actually are the Tandy branded RAM is actually branded Motorola. If you look, it's got the Motorola logo on it. So that RAM's probably fine. But we can try it. We can swap it around. Why not? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Asmer, installing RAM by Joe. Oh, that one didn't want to go in, right? Stand by. I know, I'm in front of the camera. Stand by. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Single wipe socket should never have been made. This is a correct statement. Anyone who believes otherwise is incorrect. Cool. So let's go back to the regular monitor. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt to work with, but I need to do weird things to get this plugged back in. It's a pain in the patoot to get this back on here. There we go. So, okay. So we did a RAM swap. No problem. My phone just go off? Nope. Just kind of lay that in there, easy peasy like. Cool bean a doodle, sure, why not? Make sure it's not like shorting or anything. It's not set in there too far. That's all right. However, I am going to put a couple screws in it. You think I should check the caps on the CRT and the PSU? Check the caps on the CRT and the PSU. Well, we already swapped the power supply with a different power supply from a different unit, and that didn't solve anything. It changed nothing. We know that the CRT probably has problems. But are they of enough problems to cause this particular issue? Come on. I know you guys can't see anything. It's just this thing's huge. It's hard to work on. Just trying to get a couple screws in here so the board doesn't bottom out any pins up on this chassis. Chassis, I don't know. Whatever, however you pronounce it. Whatever land you're from. Okay. Well, floppy isn't connected. And the CRT just died. Did you see the raster just disappear completely off that? We got a raster. Interesting. Just nothing. El Zilcho. So it's not a RAM problem. That's also not plugged in. Let's plug this in. I know it's not going to work, but we're going to do it anyway. Just watching the flash floppy screen. It's not doing anything. Not doing anything. It's dead, Jim. Yeah, someone call Adrian Black, yes. Retrace lines. Bah, 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 bah. Hit the reset button. Does nothing. Still dead as a doornail. I have this like funky feeling it's the video chip. It's one of my weird hunches. 12 volts. 11 points is a little low, but it's fine. 5.1. Yep, you guys can't see that. Twelve volts. 1.76. It's not hair low. It's not a big deal. 5.1. Yep. The CRT is in bad shape. Oh, well, yeah. You would be too if you were 45 years old in electronic. Is there 6850 on the board? Maybe. Who knows? Here, we'll just use this to remove the screw. A little bit faster. You can tell I'm thinking a lot now because I'm talking less. My brain's running. It's my ADHD thing. Okay. Go with that. You can go with that. All right. Your splayed back open. Is there 6850 on the board? That might be one. That's a RAM chip. I don't know. Let's look at the schematics. The video should be simple composite. It's not actually. The video that comes out of this is like, it's got more lines than a standard composite video. If I throw it at on my any regular composite monitor, it draws past the edges of the screen and stuff. It'll still show, it'll sync, but like its sizing is different. Its timing is a little bit different. So we can just yank chips. So what are all these chips? There's a 6835, but I don't see a 6850 in the docs. Yeah, the 6835 is going to be the video controller. Yeah. So does somebody have that? Who has that link to the schematic again or the documentation so I can take a look at it real quick? Who has that linkadoodle? It was Greg. Was it you who had that linkadoodle? Model 4P schematic. Model 4P service manual. Here is the technical reference. Found it. I found it. It's here. That's what it is. So where's the schematic? Or parts list or anything so I can determine what these chips are. 1773 is the floppy controller, which is not what this has in it. This is a 1793. I'm just reading schematics. Very poorly reading schematics. Yeah, there's that chip. Yeah, okay. I found it. 1790 something or other. Floppy disk formatter controller family. Yes. Uh-huh. Dual baud rate clock. Yep. Really wish I could work on this thing in a way and be able to see it easily. Do I have a TRS DOS disk inserted? No, because I have one, and I've tested it with it earlier today. And when I tested with it earlier today, it did work. The problem is it's not even getting to the point to ask for a disk. It's not even doing that. It's not saying put a disk in the drive. It's doing nothing. It gets absolutely crap all. There's the video generator. Yep. And this is, what is this chip? Stand by. I'm just reading. Oh, this is for, yeah, the gate array one. Yeah. Chips about the gate array chips and what they do. Yeah. Did it even have a boot up message without a disk? Yes. All of these have boot up messages without a disk. What? Only 2 likes? Hit the like button. Hit it. Give me like-a-doodles. I need them. Oscillator, system timing, yada. Yes. Huh. Shall we throw the scope at it and see if I can figure out anything with the scope? I mean, it's not going to hurt to. Unless it blows up while I'm working on it. That'd be funny. Scary. Funny. Pull the clip lead off there. Power. Into up like that. Well, this should be 5 volts. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That right there is supposed to be 5 volts, and it's not. So we're not even getting voltage to this board. Nice. Delicious. So you can see that back there. Pin 34 right here is supposed to be 5 volts. I'm getting nothing. Who said it was a short? Because they're probably right. First things first. I'm going to just double check and make sure that there literally isn't like anything folded over here that might cause a problem. That's fine. Just looking at capacitors and this and that and the other. Okay. Okay. I'm not seeing anything obvious. Okay. So we can turn this back on. Oh. That was nice. You guys didn't see that. Did you hear it clicking? It's full on shorted now. 100%. It was in reset trip. Absolutely a short on that board. Who knows where the heck it is? This is where it gets really boring because now it's like going through with it just to find it. It's probably a bad capacitor. A tantalum cap. Who knows? Wait a second. That's interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to show you something here. I want to show you something I just found. So, let's see if I can get in on this. I don't know if I can make this clear or not, but this chip right here has a red line across it. That may mean something. It may mean nothing. It's very hard for you to determine or whether, a line on something means anything. But maybe I can get a little specular highlight on the situation. It's hard to see. So you can see the red line that's been drawn across it. So that's something. But it's hard right there. Do you see that? That little line? That chip has a crack in it. Right there. Right there across the P. You see that? See that crack? Maybe that's our problem. Maybe that chip was faulty. This was diagnosed as faulty and was just put away. Who knows? If you find tantalum caps, you can yank them out. Yep. Look for diodes and transistors. Yep. So, it's U56. Yeah. Here, can we look at that under the scope? Can I finagle this to get that under the scope? Maybe you guys can see it better. I have no idea if I'll be able to do this or not. Because it's just like I can't really disconnect this board I could and just unplug it. Unplugging this is such a pain in the neck. I know you guys can't see it. Stand by. big ground lug. Huge ground lug. Come here. Okay, cool. Fully liberated board. That chip got cracked due to a short. Well, if it was a short, it was a short in that chip. And the fact that it had a red line across it also means to me that this thing was probably diagnosed as failed and shelved. It's like, yep, we're not going to try to fix it. It's just dead. Just cut the VCC lead. Yes. Yes. Just, my bench is a mess. I know you can't see it yet. Stand by. That's pretty good. It's pretty good take on what's going on. Kind of, sort of. Click a button. You click this button. Click that button. That button. Kind of hard to see. You see it there? And it's harder for you guys to see it than it is for me to see it. That doesn't need to be plugged into power. That doesn't need to be on. Trying to see if we can get an angle where you guys can see this crack. It is, I mean, it's minute. It's tiny. It is a tiny, tiny little crack. It's right across the left side of the P here. It's like right there. Ah, there you can see it. You see that crack going across? It's kind of round. See it? I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Here, I'll see if I can point it out. It is right here. Right along there. Mm-hmm. It's subtle. So what is that chip? That is 7416. What is a 7416? Substal, yes. 74LS. I know it's not an LS16, but that's easier to find. It's a hex inverter. Open collector. Mm-hmm. Looking for the pinout. Just uses 5 volts and ground. Yep. $74.16. Yeah. So it's just a hex inverter. But it's special because it's got open collectors. So I'd have to get an actual 7416. It's not like I could throw a 74LS08 at it or something. Or was it the 08's the hex inverter? The 04. It's not like I could throw an 04 at it or a 14. It'd probably have to be 7410 or 7416. Yeah, I mean that it's like right there. You can you can't really see it. It requires 2 eyeballs really. Ah, there you go. You see that depression there? The indentation? Now you can see it. Interesting. You might be able to if you don't use whatever needs external pull-ups. Yeah. I'm not an electronics expert at that level, so yeah, I would just swap it with an exact replica. Yeah, that it's like going all the way over here to this corner. It's like, yep, it's popped. Let's go back to Benchcam. Not Benchcam, DroidCam. There you go. Yeah, and that's this chip right here. Right there. So this demands another visual inspection. So I'm just checking every chip just to make sure there isn't anything deadly obvious here. I'm not seeing anything that's popping out to me. Then again, I didn't see that the first time either. Of course, this was probably, because this came from an electronics company, electronics manufacturer, they had all the tools to actually test this thing. So that was probably them testing this. Yeah. So, yeah, check the short. I don't want to turn it on. Well, yeah, to remove the IC and see if it's still short. Yeah, we can do that. What time is it? It's 11:43. It's a little late, though. Yeah. So I think we're going to leave it with a suspenseful, I think we found it. So I'm going to use my special red pen that I like to use, my acrylic pen, because it shows up better. And I'm going to put a red mark across it. Now it's blatantly bright red. So next time, maybe you'll do it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Just because it's getting late, it's getting to my bedtime here, or my time to go to bed time, even though I actually go to sleep at around 1. We're going to leave it there because we call that suspense. Because that gives us an option to do part 2, because we know taking that chip out is going to take at least half an hour. It's just going to take forever. Not forever, because I got to dismantle it from this back plane, yank the chip out, test it. And if it clears the short, then I've got to get another chip. I don't have another 16. I've got an LS16 maybe. I don't even have an LS16. So I'm going to have to source a chip to repair this. I'm going to have to source a chip anyway. So we're going to have to wait anyway to fix it. And so, I think that we're going to mark this as done for tonight. I'll get a chip on order if I can find one. Sorry, my nose is itching. It's dusty down here. And when that comes in, then maybe we can follow up with this. Yeah. So LS06 will do. 74LS06. I also have no 74LS06s. So yeah. So we're going to order part, and then we'll see what happens. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I think we found out a lot of cool stuff about this old machine. Figured out potentially what was causing the fault. Thank you to everybody in the chat who helped me. 74LS05. Yes, I do have 05s. But like I said, it's getting late. So anyway, that, and I got to create suspense to make you come back for more, right? Anyway, so we'll get that chip on order. Again, thanks for stopping by. Remember to smash the like button. Hit the like button. Hit it. It's right down here. It's right down there. Unless you're watching on a TV, which you can't smash the like button, because apparently you can't do that. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. That way you know when I'm doing cool stuff, if YouTube decides to tell you, in theory. And we will call it an end for tonight. Thank you all for stopping by. Remember to follow me on the Twitters. Go to Joe's Computer, or patreon.com/Joe's Computer Museum to support me on Patreon. And you can also support me by going to jcm-1.com and getting nifty merch and cool repaired repair parts and replacement parts for your Macs and Apple IIs. So, all right, well, that's all. See you later, everybody.